1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The prevailing showery and windy conditions are expected to enhance further during the next few days. Suraksha insurance resumed on President's directive. The 15th National War Heroes celebration will be held in Battramula today. The third session of the first school term of the government and government-approved private schools will begin tomorrow. Foreign news: Israel war, Cabinet Minister vows to quit if there is no post-war plan for Gaza. Due to pre-monsoonal conditions over the country and surrounding sea areas, prevailing showery and windy conditions are expected to enhance further during the next few days. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in the Galle, Matra, Kandy and Nuwara districts. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. The Department of Meteorology has issued a red alert warning of heavy rains for western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern provinces and for Galle, Matra, Kandy, Nuwara and Mana districts today. Due to pre-monsoonal conditions of the country and surrounding sea areas, the prevailing showery condition is likely to continue further, the Met Department said. Meanwhile, heavy showers above 150 millimeters are likely at some places in the western and northwestern provinces, while heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Galle, Matra, Kandy, Nuwara and Mana districts, it added. The National Building and Research Organisation yesterday issued early landslide warnings for several locations in 4 districts to be in effect until 4 p.m. today. Accordingly, a Level 2 alert was issued for Alla Divisional Secretariat Division and surrounding areas in the Badulla district. Level 1 alerts have been issued for Haliyala, Badulla, Haputale and Haldamulla DSDs and surrounding areas in the Badulla district. Ganga Ihala Korale, Pasbage Korale, Udapalata, Udunuwara and Yatunuwara DSDs and surrounding areas, Kagalla, Bulat Kohupitiya, Daraniyagala, Ruwanmalla, Kagalla Dehi Ovita, Warakapula, Yatiyantuta, Mawanalla and Galigamuwa DSD and surrounding areas. Imulpe, Balangada, Alapatha, Kalawana, Kiriyalla, Haliyagota, Ayagama, Ratnapura and Kuruwita DSDs and surrounding areas in the Ratnapura district. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has directed the resumption of the Suraksha student insurance program, which was temporarily suspended due to economic challenges. Starting from the first week of June, all school students across the island will once again be able to benefit from this insurance scheme. The Cabinet recently approved a joint Cabinet memorandum presented by President Wickremesinghe, who also serves as the Minister of Finance, Economic Stabilisation and National Policy alongside the Minister of Education, Dr. Susil Premajayantha. Suraksha Students Insurance was originally implemented in 2017 by then Prime Minister based on a concept by President Wickremesinghe. The program aims to ensure continuous education for students affected by health issues and to increase school attendance by safeguarding students' safety. It ran until December 1, 2022, but had to be temporarily halted due to economic constraints. With the current economic recovery, President Wickremesinghe has allocated 200 million in the 2024 budget to revive the Suraksha Students Insurance Program. The goal is to strengthen the program to develop the human resource necessary for the developed Sri Lanka by 2048. The insurance will cover health and accident insurance for approximately 4.5 million students aged 5 to 21 in government-approved private and private schools, as well as students aged 4 to 21 in special schools. Additionally, the program proposes life insurance benefits for students from low-income families, defined as those earning less than 180,000 rupees annually, which includes coverage for the death of a parent. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The 15th National War Heroes commemoration ceremony will be held today in front of the Battramula National War Heroes Memorial under the patronage of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena to honour the war heroes who sacrificed their lives to protect the motherland from terrorism for 30 years. With the cooperation of the heads of government, including the Defence Secretary, the Commander of the Armed Forces, the Inspector General of Police and other war heroes, and parents of war heroes who died in the war, retired officers of the Armed Forces are going to participate in this celebration. It's planned to implement a program to encourage the war heroes who are disabled and sacrifice their lives in the war as well as their family members, and to improve the war heroes who are currently serving. Founder of Art of Living Foundation, Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar, held a discussion with Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the Temple Trees yesterday. The Gurudev said that this foundation plans to set up free educational centers in Sri Lanka for skills development of youths. He also expressed interest in establishing an Ayurvedic research institution. The foundation has established 2 orphanages in Batiklo and Wallavaya. Governor of the East, Senthil Thondaman, MPs Jayantha Veerasinghe and Yadamini Gunawardena, Dr. N. Rajanurjam, Vinoj Munasinghe, Madhu Rao, and leading members of Art of Living Foundation were present on this occasion. Minister of Education announces the 3rd session of the first school term of the government and government-approved private schools will begin tomorrow. This will be conducted until the 31st of this month. The 2nd term of the schools will commence on the 2nd of June. The Buddha Rashmi Vesak Festival will take place on the 23rd to the 26th of this month at the Presidential Secretariat premises, Shangri-La Green Ground and Gangarama Temple. This Vesak Festival is being organized by School Gangarama Temple, the President's Secretariat, Colombo Prime Minister's Office and the Maha Karuna Buddhist Association of Singapore. The Vesak Festival will feature a giant Vesak panel, Vesak lanterns exhibition, Bhakti Gi, Vesak Dansal, Tovil and Devamadu Shanti Karma, flower parades, meditation programs, Virindu recitals, lighting decorations and various cultural events. Rice dansal and biscuit tea dansal will also be available on the 23rd and 24th of May, 25th as well from 7 p.m. near the Presidential Secretariat. On May 23rd, 24th and 25th, Bhakti Gi recital will take place at the Presidential Secretariat premises, Shangri-La Green Grounds and the Vesak Zone near Gangaram Temple. The recital will feature Bhakti Gi troops from Sri Lanka Navy, Army, Air Force, Civil Security Department and the police. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The President's Chief of Staff and National Security Advisor Sagala Ratnayaka has informed the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Donald Liu that steps will be taken to set up local research team for surveillance in Sri Lanka's territorial waters. Ratnayaka said that Sri Lanka wouldn't need research teams from other countries if it has its own group of experts. During a meeting in Colombo last week, he also called upon the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State to help obtain facilities to set up the research team. He said that after establishing a local research team, foreign ships would not be needed to enter the island's territorial waters for inspections and that data can be provided via Sri Lankan research team. He said that countries such as Japan and Australia will also provide assistance for this work and added that a local team could provide the data obtained in Sri Lanka's territorial waters when requested by foreign nations. Ratnayak also said that a review is currently being conducted to modernize Sri Lanka's armed forces, and that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
In Watchlight this afternoon, Purchasing Managers Index for Services indicated a slower expansion in service activities in April 2024 as reflected by the Business Activity Index, which recorded an index value of 56.7. The expansion in business activities was driven by improvements observed across several sub-sectors. Business activities in the financial services subsector continued to grow following the reduction in policy rates in March 2024. Further, business activities in the wholesale and retail trade subsector experienced considerable growth amid the seasonal demand. Programming and broadcasting, telecommunications, real estate subsectors also recorded positive development during the month. The accommodation, food and beverage subsector declined slightly during the month in line with the decline in tourist arrivals on a month-on-month basis, and that was Watchlight. On to world news, the headlines first. Israel war cabinet ministers vows to quit if there is no post-war plan for Gaza. UN says 800,000 people have fled Rafah as Israel kills dozens in Gaza. A study shows Nile branch may have been key to Egyptian pyramid construction. Israel war cabinet minister Benny Gantz has threatened to resign unless Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sets out the post war plan for the Gaza Strip. Mr. Gantz set an 18 June deadline for plans to achieve 6 strategic goals, including the end of Hamas rule in Gaza and the establishment of a multinational civilian administration for the territory. Mr. Gantz said that if the Premier puts the national over personal, the PM will find the partners in a struggle. But if the PM choose the path of fanatics, lead the entire nation to the abyss, they will be forced to quit the government. Mr. Netanyahu dismissed the comments as washed-up words that would mean defeat for Israel. The growing rift comes as fighting rages at both ends of the Gaza Strip, with Israeli forces operating in the southern city of Rafah and the northern town of Jabalia, one of Gaza's historic refugee camps and an area the Israeli military previously said it had clear of Hamas fighters. Mr. Gantz was speaking just days after another war cabinet member, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, urged Mr. Netanyahu to state publicly that Israel had no plans to take over civilian and military rule in Gaza. Nearly 800,000 Palestinians have been displaced from Rafah since Israel launched its offensive against the southern Gaza city last week. Philip Lazzarini, the head of the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, has said. Lazzarini decried the repeated displacement of Palestinians in the statement on Saturday. Saturday saw intense fighting across Gaza, not just in Rafah, with Israeli attacks killing dozens of Palestinians. The Minister of Health in Gaza said early in the day that 83 Palestinians had been killed over the previous 24 hours. Scientists think they are closer to solving the mystery of the construction of ancient Egypt's pyramids, including the Giza Pyramid Complex that was constructed more than 4,000 years ago. A study published on Thursday in Communications, Earth and Environmental Journal suggests that a long-lost ancient branch of the Nile could have built by the pyramids. Researchers from the University of North Carolina, Wilmington used radar satellite imagery, geophysical data, and deep soil coring to map the hidden river branch. The team named the branch Ahramat, which means pyramids in Arabic, and said it was about 64 kilometers long, between 200 meters and 700 meters wide. Back to the headlines. Israel War Cabinet Minister vows to quit if there is no post-war plan for Gaza. UN says 800,000 people have fled Rafah as Israel kills dozens in Gaza, and a study shows Nile branch may have been key to Egyptian pyramid construction. That ends World News.
Development News.
United Petroleum Australia, which entered Sri Lanka's petroleum retail operations last month, plans to obtain their license to commence operations mid this year. The Australian-owned petroleum retailer and importer was assigned 150 fuel stations across Sri Lanka and was also given the right to build 50 new fuel stations. That was Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
In sports, first athletics, Britain's Megan Keith won a dramatic sprint finish at the night of the 10,000-meter PBS in London to book her place at the Paris Olympics. The 22-year-old Scot finished in time of 31 minutes and 3.01 seconds at the Olympic trial event after surging ahead of United States' Fiona O'Keeffe in home straight. And more sports news. Max Verstappen said it was very special to equal Ayrton Senna's all-time record of 8 consecutive pole positions at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The Red Bull driver pipped both McLaren drivers Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris to take pole in 7 races this season by less than 0.1 seconds. Verstappen's achievement comes 30 years after Senna's death on the same Imola circuit following an accident in the San Marino Grand Prix on May 1, 1994.
Go ekak kiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
The Sri Lanka Export
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Sri Lanka Export Development Board and the People's Bank have entered into a strategic partnership aimed at propelling Sri Lanka's export sector to new heights. The collaborative effort was cemented through the signing of Memorandum of Understanding in Colombo. The partnership endeavours to invigorate the country's export landscape by identifying and supporting exporters, fostering potential market errands, and catalyzing economic growth through amplified foreign exchange earnings and enhanced employment opportunities. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The 11th edition of Sri Lanka's largest travel and tourism fair, Sancharaka Udava 2024, concluded yesterday at the BMICH. The two-day event was organized by Sri Lanka's Association of Inbound Tour Operators and supported by Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau. The event was inaugurated by Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau Chairman Charlaka Gajapal on Friday. The trade fair offered a platform for business to business and business to customer, supporting all small, medium and large travel players to make their appearance. The platform allowed around 170 exhibitors to market their products while providing an opportunity to engage with government authorities as well as build lasting connections with the target market to grasp the most currently out of tourism industry. And that is economic news.
Weather report.
Due to pre-monsoonal conditions over the country and surrounding sea areas, prevailing showery and windy conditions are expected to enhance further during the next few days. Cloudy skies can be expected over most parts of the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragaon, central, northwestern and southern provinces and in the Mannar district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere of the island after 1 p.m. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, Sabaragaon, northwestern provinces and in the Galle, Matra, Kandy, Nuwara and Mannar districts. And that was the weather report. Prior to concluding this news, the headlines again. The prevailing showery and windy conditions are expected to enhance further during the next few days. Suraksha insurance resumed on President's directive. The 15th National War Heroes celebration will be held in Batramulla today. The third session of the first school term of the government and government-approved private schools will begin tomorrow. Foreign news: Israel War Cabinet Minister vows to quit if there is no post-war plan for Gaza. And that ends this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's over to Heshma Samath on the other side. Over to you, Heshma.